Twitch. I'm One Moon Knight with a video that's kinda long overdue, as I've said a few times I'd do one of these. But today we're doing a load order video, not only for you, but for my buddy Jay, just so he doesn't have to ask me for all 150 of my mods. So we're just gonna start from the top and work our way down. I'll try and make this video as quick as possible to save all your guys' time. You can come and check it out whenever. So, we'll start with the first category from the unofficial patch of Skyrim. To jobs, campfire, finally fixing Skyrim, simple workaround framework, and just shields at the top. Now after that comes I need food, water, and sleep, the Magical College of Winterhold, XP 32 maximum skeleton, which, if you're familiar with mods, most of them need these nowadays, specifically the XP 32 maximum skeleton. A lot of armor mods and body mods just will not work without it. For a lot more reasons than people think, we have the cheat room. Not only does it help when there are bugs with the game, but if you're missing an item, you can go right into there and snatch it up. And it's just for a little bit of fun whenever you're bored of Skyrim normally. Now, one of my personal favorite mods, and probably one of the biggest on Skyrim, is the Conquest of Skyrim, adding in a completely new government system, changing the game to where you can start your own faction and make an army, and conquer all of the 9 holds. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like fun to me. And one of my personal favorite mods, he's been with me for the longest damn time I can remember, Inigo. He's a classic and a personal favorite for everyone, and he's probably one of my best friends I've ever had. He's been on so many adventures with me, and there's quite a few others that'll come after him, so we'll get to that right now. Right after Inigo, speaking of 2 people that have been with me for the longest damn time, maybe even 3, I see him down there, we have the Serana Dialogue add-on, 244 megabytes. It's been getting so many damn updates, it's so good. Makes the game feel like a movie when you're finally doing the Dawnguard DLC. Would definitely recommend this mod. And then after Serana is Kaiden, much like Inigo, a personal favorite. He's been with me through most of my adventures, and I save his life from that prison every damn time. I don't think I could play the game without him, Inigo, or Lucian. It would be a damn challenge for me to pull that off. Now, to add in more creatures and enemies, we have the Denizens of Oblivion, more Daedra. This mod is something else. You will hate your life if you have combat mods like mine installed. It is... oh man, it turns the game into fucking Dark Souls real quick. But now you get most of the creatures that were in Oblivion. And I think some from Morrowind. I couldn't tell you, honestly. I don't remember. But skipping over that, it's mainly just to add in a lot of different creatures that are missing from the game. In all honesty, they should have been there from the get-go. I hate it when games don't add in shit from the previous games. You add in all these creatures and lore, and then you cut it out in the next game. It's a shame, honestly. So, the best boy of Skyrim, besides Inigo, it's Lucian, everyone's favorite apprentice. He's a really good mod, has a really great story, and I'm sure for those of you who have been modding Skyrim, you already know who he is, so let's just skip over that. And now this one in particular is an overhaul of all vanilla armor, and it retextures the Creation Club items. You don't even need all of the Creation Club items. It, for some reason, has a code put into it where it actually takes care of everything that you have, and you don't need to have everything installed from Creation Club to get the mod. It somehow knows what's installed and what isn't. Very nice mod. Really good retextures on the armor. Can't play the game without it. That's just how I feel. And speaking of mods I can't play the game without, I hate vanilla combat. I hate it so goddamn much it bores the fuck out of me. There are some days where I kind of miss going into first person and fucking people up, but honestly I'd rather have a mod for that too. So this is GDB's The Elden Beast Edition. This mod will completely overhaul your animation framework. You're gonna go from doing 1 to 2 wide swings with a baseball bat to, oh my god, I'm a fucking Sith Lord and I can swing my sword in every damn direction. It's very fun. Adds in dodging as well, so you won't need the ultimate dodge mod, you won't need smooth animations, you won't need a lot of movement or animation mods in general because of this. It covers it all in 139 megabytes. Very good mod for people on Xbox. It's the closest thing we have to PC combat. Until we get a better mod. Hopefully we get a better mod. Relationship dialogue overhaul. And then some of the Kaiden patches. There were a lot to the Kaiden mod. Like a lot of extra add-ons that you need to get. Mainly because it's a newer mod for Kaiden. His file is so big that he needed to be spread over a couple of mods. There's also some patches. Kayaba. My grandfather's deck has no weak cards, Kayaba. Oh. So yeah, no, Jay's playing around with some of the goofier mods right now while I do this video. This mod is a personal favorite of mine, and I haven't even gotten to beat it yet. But this is called a Return to Helgen. After Helgen's destroyed and you do all the basic stuff, like exiting it, you go to Solitude. And somebody's going to have a conversation about the place being rebuilt. After you get that prompt, you'll head back there, and well, you can start your journey from there. It takes you all the way from Helgen to the city of Cyrodiil. That's right, you'll get to see the White Gold Tower just by doing this. It has over 400 NPCs, 1,000 lines of recorded dialogue, and 40 quests. And at the end of that quest, the main quest to it, I mean, you get to become Emperor. So I have this bundled with the Conquest of Skyrim. I couldn't tell you for the life of me if they work together the way I think they do, but at the end of one of my playthroughs, I'll let y'all know. Either way, it's a mod I cannot play without, just because I've always wanted a Dragonborn Emperor DLC to this game, and this pretty much gives that. I also wanted to be able to rebuild Helgen, because for so many years I saw it sit there and lay waste. Or lay in waste, my bad. Next, for those of you who like to roleplay, walk around, and talk to NPCs, and I myself am guilty as charged of this, the mod More to Say on version 9.02 just might be the mod for you. This overhauls most dialogue in the game, from normal AI to protected characters, story-driven characters, you name it. You're going to find a very different Skyrim when you install this mod in particular. Now, a big classic for most people is Cloaks of Skyrim. That one's self-explanatory. Everyone loves to walk around with their cool-ass cape. I like putting enchantments on my cape, making me even stronger. So not only does it serve a cosmetic purpose, it also serves a practical purpose? Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Ah, here we go. Vados Brum regions. It's a Skyrim flora overhaul, completely changing grass, trees, and weather effects. It's just a landscape overhaul, and it's definitely a necessary one. Now, the Skyland mod series, very beautiful, really pretty. Another one I just cannot play without. The Skyland Nordic Ruins is a must-have for me, and I'm sure it'll be a must-have for you when you see it in action. And to those of you who already have it installed, I'm sure you can agree with me. Now, this will cover all of your character needs in one fucking bundle. Simple character retexture bundle. This has all the stuff you're gonna need. You can look at the side and see for yourself. Vertuvia, Lucid Skin, Natural Eyes, Vanilla Hair, Salt and Wind. And with just those few mods, you'll have quite the overhaul to your character creator. Now, this one is mainly just for me, but if you're a Star Wars nut like I am, you'll enjoy Skyrim Wars, completely overhauling the Imperial and Jedi, the Stormcloaks into Jedi, my bad. So the Imperials are Stormtroopers. I'm gonna good job you upside this fucking... Ooh, I'm gonna slap him upside the head. Don't mind me, chat. You call that a Gallic gun? Nappa! God damn it, Nappa. God damn it, Nappa! Dragon Ball. I need the Dragon Ball hand now, please. Okay, sorry about that, everybody. Jay got me started on the voices again. Are you sure, Vegeta? Are you sure it wasn't just you, Vegeta? Are you sure you didn't do it to yourself, Vegeta? God damn it, Nappa, shut up. Oh, I did notice it. I know Vegeta's voice changes in the bridge over time. Skyrim Wars also adds in Darth Vader. I love seeing General Tullius as Darth Vader. Ulfric Stormcloak's basically the Grand Master of the Jedi, and I think it's fucking hilarious. There's a lot added from that mod. But that's actually just for my fan film and series that I've been doing with War Chief Urog as well. This one is really just if you want to kind of download. Anything based around Star Wars is an if you want to download, but I promise you, if you do get it with this mod pack, Skyrim will never be the same. You'll never want to uninstall it. I also have a spaceship mod somewhere, so you're definitely going to want to stick around for that. Next is a companion I haven't even gotten to fucking try out yet, but I've seen so much of her on YouTube I couldn't help myself. She also fits right into the Star Wars universe. No problem at all. She reminds me a lot of Darth Nihilus' apprentice, especially considering she's blind and is very attuned to magic around her. It's almost like she was based off of the apprentice of Nihilus. The character known as Light and Shade. Can't remember her exact name, but it is a very fun companion mod. I do recommend getting it. And no, I don't need to take a breath. I can talk forever, motherfucker. The City of Trees. The best Whiterun overhaul you're ever going to get. Don't listen to any other modder on what they tell you to download for Whiterun. This 76 megabyte mod is literally the mod that you see in all the goddamn 4K realistic ass videos. Like the ones with such realistic graphics, you think your PC was about to fucking melt. Like, just explode, turn into a microwave, the whole damn nuke. But this goddamn overhaul is the best city overhaul I have ever fucking seen. It is the closest we will ever get to PC. Song of the Green, or better known as Ori, or Ari. So Ari is, without a doubt, one of my favorite followers, just like Inigo, Kaiden, and Lucian. She's right up there with them. I literally can't play the game without her. You get to learn a little bit about Valenwood while having her in your fucking company. She's also got a very interesting story to boot. Having these companions, it really freshens up the game, makes it lively. You know, you feel like you're an actual person in the game when you travel with these people. Like there's just more to the game than your main story. Their side quests, some of the best quests I've ever done. Like, I can literally do them all day, all the time. I never get bored of them. They were just that well made. I don't think I could ever play Skyrim again without these companions installed. Like, you could take away all of my mods, but just as long as I have those guys installed, I'll be fine. Even dealing with the shitty-ass vanilla combat, I'll be fine. Mystic Aura Effects. This is for your lighting and special effects to spells and magic in general. This is a perfect mod for people looking to spice up their magic experience. We're not going to talk too much on it, just because it's an effects mod, but I do recommend getting this mod if you use magic a lot. This one was for me, really, but I know a lot of people want to see the animals nice and clean and crisp. They want to actually see them look like real animals and not whatever the fuck Skyrim decided to do to them. Elk and deer always look nice in Skyrim, though. I will say that. Bears look pretty realistic to actual bears, and they're annoying as fuck. And this game has made me hate bears for no good reason other than they're everywhere I go. Pilgrim 1K. This is an overhaul to the religion of Skyrim. And it doesn't just overhaul the religion, but it makes shrines better. You will definitely enjoy the religion in Skyrim, and it'll feel like it actually has an impact on your character, besides just one quest for the Lord's Mail, or the Relics of the Crusader, the Knights of the Nine. Those now have a quest behind them, a little bit like the Lord's Mail, where you have to pray at 10 shrines to be able to wear the armor. This right here, best perk overhaul I ever used, but it's not just for perks. It was for something else, and I can't remember. I got this for a whole lot of different reasons. I think it's because it came with spells as well. But this is going to be the closest experience you can get to Oblivion, and just being able to roleplay a good character in general. Builds will not be the same, the perk tree will not be the same. This mod really does a good job of overhauling the game. It's a must-have. But I will leave the choice to you on whether or not you install it. Better Vampires. A mod where you literally just can't play this game without it if you like the vampires. Completely overhauls them. Does exactly what it says. It's better vampires for a reason. There's nothing else to say about that. You have to try that out for yourself and really experience what better vampires can do for you in your playthrough. Divine texture pack trees, self-explanatory. Your trees are going to look nicer, lusher, realistic. That's what you want. That's why you're here. We're gonna move on. The Reputation of Skyrim, probably the best fucking mod I ever bothered to install. You will really feel like a character in the game because of this. Your choices will actually fucking matter. You'll get notes from people that you would have never gotten notes from prior. People will actually comment about what factions you join and send you mail all the time. The Reputation of Skyrim is an amazing mod for roleplayability. Medieval Blended Roads. I stopped using Skyland dirt roads a while back and switched to this because it is just so much fucking better. There's nothing else to say about that. Your roads are going to simply look nicer and still keep that dirt-like road vibe. That's the best way to put it. Still looks just like Skyland, but slightly better, a lot more tweaked up, and a lot less mesh glitches, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes the dirt looked like really plasticky mud. Like it looked almost like plastic, not real, half the time. So getting that mod was definitely a must for me. Use whatever mod you want to for your roads. I'm not going to be the boss of you. It's just my opinion. This is a really good mod. It makes the game extremely pretty too. Real Armies overhauls all of the classes of the Imperial and Storm folks, going right with Skyrim Wars. It actually makes an interesting, oh man, it makes an interesting quest line. The Civil War is not the same when you have Skyrim Wars in this installed. really feels like you're fighting against an actual faction, not some half-assed group of farmers, not some half-assed group of Imperials. You really feel like you're fighting the Stormcloak forces and the Imperial forces when using this mod. Let's go and take a look at some of the classes just to give you an idea. Imperial Auxiliary, Imperial Archers, Legionnaires, Veterans, Battle Mages, Centurions, and in the Stormcloak Rebellion, you've got the Unblooded, the Archers, Stormcloak Companions, not to be confused with companions you can get, but brothers in arms who always accompany each other. Almost like in Naruto, how you would have squads of 3 and a sensei. I would imagine the companions are at least squads of 2 to 3 members, maybe even 4. The Stormcloak Berserkers, the Wizards, and the Herseer. Strong warriors will only suffer a stronger warrior to lead them. So those are probably their version of veterans. Now you're going to notice I have 2 cloaks mods, and that's because one of them is for the guards of Skyrim and just people in general. This one is for the player, giving you cloaks, face masks, and all sorts of accessories, including eye patches. I think they're really nice. It's more like eye wraps, like how I don't know, like a samurai master or a ronin would put a wrap around their eyes. It looks like that. Multiple marriage, spouse. It's a very simple mod, very self-explanatory. You get to have multiple marriages, go to different homes. I think it even allows you to set up more rooms, like children rooms. It gives you a lot of options, more than what it says. I haven't used it yet, mainly because I haven't been playing Skyrim like I used to, but we'll skip over that for now. It'll definitely be a fun mod to download all the same. Immersive sounds. This fucking mod right here is amazing. Let's go up. I wish it would have said like the full title, but the Immersive Sounds Compendium, really good. Completely overhauls Skyrim. You're going to hear the clanking of your armor as you walk. It's just something I can't play without for immersive reasons. You're going to hear birds chirping in the background. That mod is just really good in general. Now the Mega Mod Pack over here adds in a bunch of different powers to start off with, and it's something you're going to desperately need if you want to survive in my Skyrim. Mainly because of the butterfly power it gives you, but also because of the attacking powers it gives you. It's a really good edge for early on and into the later game. It also keeps the game a little fun, while also keeping it challenging. Most things, including bandits, will survive these powers. I'm not gonna lie to you. They will get right up and smack the shit out of you in my Skyrim, so it is definitely a must-have if you want to survive. Back to the Skyland series, we have towns and villages just because of how good it actually is. I have not found a single mod that does a better job yet, and when I do, I will let you all know. This one is for vampires again, the Armor Expansion 2K. Adds in completely new clothes for the vampires, using vanilla textures and meshes. Still really creative, really fun. You'll feel like a goddamn Sith Lord with some of these armors. And vampires look a lot cooler. Animated El Sopa potions for GDB's The Revenge, or I think it was Elden Beast. Either way, this mod goes right with the Elden Beast mod that I had shown at the top. It'll allow you to actually drink potions, watch your character drink them. Word of warning in the middle of combat, If you've ever had this problem in Dark Souls, and you get smacked the fuck out of while you're drinking potions, don't get mad at the mod. Get mad at yourself for drinking a potion in the middle of a goddamn battlefield. That's all I can say. I've done it to myself a few times, and I get so fucking mad at the animations, and then I stop and think, I'm like, you know, I did this to myself. This one, loading screens. Very self-explanatory. No one likes looking at a blank black screen. The loading screens in this game are so asinine, I wish they didn't even make them at all. This, however, changes that, making them really fun, really cool to look at. Even on an Xbox Series XS, I still don't load that fast. So having this mod to look at is just really enjoyable. It's eye candy, that's all it really is. Dragon Break, overhauling the dragons completely, from their dialogue to the way they fight. You will not be able to recognize dragons with this. They're going to fuck your shit up. That is all I can say. You're gonna get dive bombed by these fuckers. They're gonna drop bombs like they're a fucking bomber plane, okay? You're gonna get hit by Fusro Da, and it's gonna feel like an impact missile just hit you point blank. Very fun mod if you want dragons to actually do something and not just be a goddamn bullet sponge. I can't play the game without it. Speaking of the fucking mods I can't play this game without, the Children Optimized gets rid of the potato-faced kids, completely overhauls them, makes them look like actual people, and, you know, just really makes their story, like each adoptable child who has a story and background, it makes them feel a lot more real. That's the best way I can put it. You know, you actually get invested into some of these people when you start talking to them. Because other than that, I bet you most of you guys just skip over the goddamn Hearthfire DLC. Not even gonna lie, it's pretty easy to skip over. But having the kids optimized, you know, really makes it fun. Makes it kind of new in a way. Like you're talking to a completely new NPC. This one, the Artifact Overhaul, or better known as Reliquary of Myth, must have. It overhauls so many of the different artifacts in the game. I literally can't play the game without it, like a lot of these other mods, but this one in particular really spices up things, including combat in general. If you're tired of finding really cool weapons, or doing a whole quest line just to get some shitty Axe of Whiterun, this is probably the mod for you. Actually makes artifacts kind of unique. Overhaul some of the pre-existing ones too, like the Blade of Woe for example. It's no longer garbage, they made that better through this mod. There's True Lords of Oblivion somewhere, which also overhauls the Daedric artifacts. We'll get to that in a minute. Lady Marak turns the first Dragonborn into a woman that can be recruited as a companion. She gets an entirely new story, completely new set of dialogue, and even the boss fight for Marak gets changed. You have an option to side with Hermaeus Mora and do the vanilla bullshit, which honestly lame, big lame, or you can bend the will of Marak and you can slap the fuck out of them and tell them to wake the fuck up. We need to fight Hermaeus Mora. We need to get you out of here. And we need to fuck off. Literally, that's basically the mod in a nutshell. You fight Marak, bend their will, and then you have to go through like 8 survival waves against Hermaeus Mora and his legions on that goddamn arena. Best boss fight I ever fucking watched in my life. Like, I never want to get rid of this mod just because of that boss fight alone. It was such a completely different take on the Dragonborn DLC that I couldn't not keep this mod. Really fun, and I'm pretty sure it has one more mod tied to it, so we'll get down to that when we do. Pines to Oaks Tree Replacer. It goes hand in hand with the Divine Trees pack. It adds in a shit ton of different trees, not just pines to oaks, but a shit ton. It's really good. I don't know how to describe this mod other than being photorealistic and making the game feel so fucking nice, just like on PC. That's basically how it'll look with this installed. From far away, some of the trees look a little their meshes don't blend right, but it doesn't take away from the beauty of the game. It kind of makes it look like 2011 Skyrim when you're super far away. You know, like say you're standing on a mountain and you can see valleys of trees going outward. It's not like on PC where you're going to see those trees in perfect fucking condition, like when you're standing right next to them. You know, it's going to get a little blurry, graphics are going to get a little less detailed and more potato. Now the Sea of Spirits, adding in all sorts of new aquatic creatures to the Sea of Ghosts. It's a must-have. You'll finally see aquatic creatures besides the annoying slaughterfish and salmon that you're used to. Anyone can understand why you'd want to have this mod. A quality world map, allowing you to see roads, mountains, the plains, everything you couldn't see before in your gray, bland ass map will now be changed here, and I'm pretty sure it even colors some of the map markers. There's no reason to not get this mod unless you like a paper-styled map, in which case I do not blame you, but that paper map is just so big in terms of memory I couldn't be bothered. Nordic beds, self-explanatory. It overhauls the beds, makes them look nicer, not like a... It honestly looks like a fucking medieval prison bed. Like all the beds in Skyrim, I don't know why. Except for royalty beds. Theirs look kind of nice. Still, it looks pretty flat like a fucking anvil. Does not look comfortable. I'd rather sleep on a dwarven bed with their little bit of fucking mattress that they have on it, the cushion, than I would on a Nord bed. But with this mod, beds look like actual fucking beds. A place where I'd want to rest my head and not use for fucking firewood. Skyland Mountains, self-explanatory, makes your mountains look crisp and nice. Very clean, even from afar, they're going to look beautiful. Thume SE, complete overhaul of the Thume system, adds in shouts all over Skyrim, not just the normal word walls, but you could go under the ocean, find a Nordic ruin, just buried there, and more than likely there's going to be a word of power somewhere hidden in it. Good luck finding all of them, and have fun with your complete new system of shouts, and the complete new system for the Dragonborn, because your power will be ever changing and growing as long as you have this mod. Another one that I just cannot play the game without. Now, going all the way back to when I was talking about the Axe of Whiterun, this is the mod for all of you fuckers who like collecting the Thane weapons. And I'm sure you're like me, you do the Thane quest just because you want a house, or you want to be able to commit more crimes in the city, or you just wanted to get the fucking quest out of the way because it was taking up room in your quest board and you got tired of seeing it. At least you'll get a nice reward out of doing it. It's definitely worth getting, as it completely changes the way you play the game. You might actually hold on to that Axe of Whiterun now. Or that Blade of Falkreath might actually be useful, because they're all different weapons, completely unique to themselves. You're not going to find a single weapon like them in the game. Really, really good mod. Definitely a 10 out of 10. I couldn't recommend it enough. You just have to try it and see for yourself. Luminescence, a lighting overhaul. This is the closest you're going to get to PC lighting. I'm not even fucking kidding. To those of you who were with me for the stream earlier today, I'm sure you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when we were in the taverns and just exploring in general. The lighting was so nice, so pretty. Half the time I want to live in goddamn Skyrim because of these mods. And then the most basic of them all, but a necessary one, enhanced blood textures. Because nobody wants to look at those 2011 potato-ass blood textures. It's like putting a big pile of ketchup on the ground in 2011. At least with this, blood looks like blood. It'll splatter onto your screen. It fulfills all your gory tendencies, all your brutalizing needs. For any warrior or mage, this is the mod for you. There's not much I can say about it except go fucking hog wild and paint the ground red. Moving on. Aeronautics, a space travel mod. This mod allows you to get a spaceship in the game that you have to repair from start to finish, mainly working on the inside because it's its own dungeon space. It's hidden in a mountain. It's a very interesting mod. It's a dwarven spaceship allowing you to go to 2 other planets, and if that wasn't cool enough, you get to use it on Skyrim. That's right, you can call this ship to back you up whenever you need it. You can literally make it do airstrikes, orbital lasers, all sorts of shit. It's also a fast travel home, meaning you could have it go anywhere you want to. Really cool mod, and I actually plan on using it in one of my fan films, so that's going to be really cool to get to when I do. Amazing follower tweaks, a must-have mod for those who are always traveling with companions. You will find that they're a lot smarter, you get to do a lot more with them, and I'm not going to say much on this mod. You might as well find out for yourself just how good it is. Natural clouds. This is how you make your game extremely pretty. I'm not kidding. No matter what time of day or night it is, as long as there are clouds in the sky, this mod will be affecting them. And oh my god, the way it affects them it's perfect. The clouds are fluffy, thick, they look real. I cannot, and I stress this one enough, cannot play this game without this fucking mod in particular. The skies are so beautiful, there's just no way I could uninstall it. I don't care what cloud mod comes out after this, it's so small, but it does so much and makes the game so fucking pretty. Now here we go. Back to Lady Marak. This is the Dragonborn follower mod that goes with the actual Lady Marak mod. This allows you to recruit her as a follower. Self-explanatory. Speaking of self-explanatory, this is a banter patch for Ori and Inigo, allowing the companions to talk to each other. Bandit lines completely overhauls the dialogue of bandits. If you wanted to ever play as a bandit or just got tired of the same dialogue over and over, this mod is for you. Bandoilers, bags, and pouches for those who like to play with carry weight on and just like to look really cool. This mod is also for you, adding an extra level of cosmetic depth to your character. Magicka sabers, very small, very effective, has a shit ton of lightsabers, and even lightsabers that glow now, instead of the normal Magicka sabers. Summer Mist Enchantments, one of the oldest enchantment mods, and still one of the best, has like hundreds of different enchantments to go through, so I'll let you all figure that one out for yourself. Very fun, infinite number of combinations to make. Go crazy. Better Arvak Armored, for those who love this horse to death as much as I do. A fitting armor set for one of the coolest horses in Skyrim. If you ever wanted to be the Grim Reaper and have your goddamn horse, this is for you. Makes it look like a Death Knight. Sensible Interface. The best interface mod I've ever fucking used. Completely overhauls your game's interface. But it also overhauls books and text in general. Instead of opening up your inventory like normal, you're going to use the left bumper with everything. Left bumper RB will open up your skills. Left bumper and B will open up your magic. Left bumper and X, your inventory. Left bumper and Y, your favorites menu. And then you can use the D-pad in your favorites menu to set hotkeys. You get 4 hotkeys because of the D-pad. My hotkeys are usually composed of potions, powers, and weaponry. Alternate start, live another life. And what are you looking for right now, Jay? Oh, okay, if you're going to Whiterun's Hall of the Dead, go back to the gate of Whiterun. Don't exit, but just face forward on the street, move forward, take a left, and then go into the building that has a staircase going down into the ground. You'll recognize it when you see it. It's got a small arch above it. So back to the alternate start mod for roleplay ability. This mod will cover all your needs. No more boring vanilla start. Most people know about this mod. Very fun. Almost impossible to play the game without. I'm trying to think what else I could say about it, other than it's a completely new experience to your Skyrim needs. When you start a journey with this mod, sky's the limit. You know, the game really does become an amazing game when you got this installed, and you don't just have to keep doing the same fucking boring ass start over and over again. You really feel like your character actually has some depth behind him while having this mod installed. Instead of just being the Dragonborn and being thrusted into the game randomly, it feels like you are actually a person before starting up the game. Like you were doing things and living your life until you took over. Civil War Lines expansion, much like the Bandit Lines expansion, overhauls all the boring old dialogue, adding in a little bit of life to the game. Vile Art of Necromancy, it's self-explanatory. It overhauls your necromancy system, adding in a lot more new spells and features, making it feel like an actual magic system to a game instead of just spamming one or two spells that you always like to keep on you. This is for the dragon aspect. If you're tired of seeing the same orange and blue dragon aspect, this will give you red blood wings and a more bloodied look in general. This is for my Sith Lord playthrough, and if you got all the Star Wars mods that I have, it's a must-have for you too, as you'll really feel like an evil dragonborn while having this mod installed. Can't play the game without it. Definitely a must-have. And it's smaller than all the other Dragon Wing mods, so there's no reason to not get it. It's just 7 megabytes. Much like the Imperious Races of Skyrim, it's a small mod, and it does a lot. This will completely overhaul the Races of Skyrim, making them a bit more balanced and different. Instead of just having the same stats going on every fucking race, boring as hell, no roleplay ability, no depth to your character, you're actually going to have a very different start to each race. And to me, that's exactly what we're looking for in these types of games. You want people to be different. You know, you're playing as a completely different race. A Nord and a Khajiit should not have the same stats as each other. You know, you chose them for different reasons. You wanted a different playthrough. You wanted to be better at something than the other, so you chose that race. Say you're a Khajiit, you're supposed to be good at stealth. Say you're a Nord, you're supposed to be good at combat. Say you're a Dark Elf or High Elf, you're good at magic. That's how it's supposed to be. The game never really took that and expanded on it, but this mod will. The Helios Project. This is the second version of the Helios Project, and it's way smaller than the old mod, and much like More to Say, adds in a lot of dialogue options. A lot. Like, way too much to go over. Really good overhaul to the game. Findrix Magic Evolved will add in over like 200 something spells, or I guess 170 plus to be exact. Yeah, it says it over there. Really good for mage builds, but not just that. It adds in spells to all of the fucking NPCs of Skyrim, so you know, good luck getting your ass eaten by this mod. Really fun to have if you're a fucking combat junkie like me and you enjoy a hard time. Darker Brotherhood V2 overhauls the Brotherhood, self-explanatory. I don't want to spoil anything on that. Dapper Deliveries, a courier system. The courier is a bit more formal. You know, he's a little bit more professional with this mod, but not just that, he's actually got a backpack to hold all of his little notes. It also gives you new mail and just more dialogue options with the courier, I'm pretty sure. It's just another simple mod that I wouldn't see myself without. This one's self-explanatory, making the AI a lot smarter, making citizens a lot more immersive. You're going to see people walking from Whiterun to Riverwood with this mod in particular. Very fun. Really makes the game feel alive. Immersive projectiles. You're going to have throwing weapons out the ass, all medieval mind you, oil pots, normal bombs with a fucking wick on them, smoke bombs, all sorts of shit that you just wouldn't have seen in Skyrim without this mod. It'll be here. And oh yeah, to get spears you won't just have to fight Reeklings, other people have them too, and throwing knives and axes. Really good mod. Especially considering it's just 6 megabytes. Bandits and all sorts of different people have these weapons, so even if you feel like you're the toughest motherfucker in the world, you could be the strongest vampire lord for all I care. One oil pot to the dome is going to tear your asshole a new one with this mod. Bandits are no longer just a simple cleave-through fight. They'll throw bombs at you, spears, axes, and knives, and it makes it so much more enjoyable. Serviceable carriages, self-explanatory, overhauls the carriage system, allowing you to travel not just to cities, but to towns, and it makes their carriages look nicer. You know, like you're actually about to take a decent carriage ride. Instead of spending 50 fucking gold to go to some city that I could have walked to, it's now going to be like 15 to 25 gold for a decent ride. And not a shit ride. Abyssal Wind Magic. This is honestly optional, but it adds in a system of wind magic that will make you feel like a real Sith or Jedi. This is again a mod for those who got the Star Wars mods installed. It's fun as hell though. And for it just being wind magic, it's really fucking destructive. I'm talking vortexes and all sorts of shit that you would not expect. Fun mod. Really big for just 4 megabytes. But then again, we all know looks can be deceiving. Lore-friendly guns of Skyrim. It doesn't add in modern weapons. No, no, no. This adds in closer to black powder weapons and dwarven weapons. It basically has a tier of gun for every crafting tier in the game all the way up to Daedric smithing. Must have if you like guns. And even then, I rarely use the guns myself. I prefer seeing it in the hands of the NPCs. Because getting shot at by a rifle by a bandit, it's a whole new experience. Bandits are not just bandits anymore when they have guns and bombs to throw at you. Royal Armory New Artifact Overhaul. This is for people like Ulfric and Tullius, overhauls their weapons, and it overhauls most of the weapons in the game that are held by protected NPCs. Really fun artifact overhaul. No Vampire Lord appearance change. This is a must-have for those who do not like the ugly Vampire Lord. I actually do like that bat look, so I would usually get the bigger wings to go with it, but for my fan film's sake, I am going to keep this instead to have a more Sith Lord-like appearance when I transform into a Vampire Lord. Pretty self-explanatory. Very fun. You get to keep your armor and outfit when you go into Vampire Lord state. This is something that a lot of PC players use. Or maybe it's a different mod, probably not the exact same. Either way, you get the idea. This one overhauls all Necromancer outfits with a much cleaner robe. Something really nice and regal instead of just that nasty black robe that we're all used to. Aurora Standing Stones, self-explanatory, overhauls all the standing stones in the game with much better powers, making them feel unique and actually viable all the way to end game. You know, it really feels like you were born under a stone instead of, oh, I'm just going to choose one of these 3 stones and go find the rest at some point. Woohoo! This banter patch is for Kaiden and Inigo so they can talk to each other. A must-have if you get the Kaiden and Inigo mods. The notice board for all your role-playing needs, whether you want to be a bounty hunter or just an adventurer, a definite must-have. The vampire lines, much like Bandit and Civil War, overhauls all the lines for vampires, giving them a completely new feel. Ori and Kaiden banter patch, allowing them to talk to each other. Another must-have mod, especially if you like traveling around with them. It'll really make your game feel like it's not even a game, more like a story or a movie. My favorite weather overhaul and just E&B preset. This is Mythical Ages, giving you a small list of choices, each with their own lighting and effects. It's definitely a add-on to go with Luminescence. I always go for the fantasy preset, making my game very colorful, alive, and it just pops. It pops into life. That's the best way to explain it. You're going to have some of your best pictures ever taken because of this mod. I can promise you, your game will never be the same without it. Coin pouch retexture, turning the coin pouch black. This one's personal preference, but if you don't like looking at that nasty coin sack, this is for you, without a doubt. Violins, a kill move mod, adding way more kill moves to the game. It goes hand in hand with decapitations and more kill moves, but I think this is the better one in general. The True Lords of Oblivion, overhauling all of Oblivion's relics, all the Daedric artifacts that you want. This overhauls them, making them viable into endgame. Big leap for 3 times jump. A lot of times, not just because of my Star Wars playthrough, I like jumping up mountains. This makes your jump slightly higher, allowing for more mobility. Really good for assassin playthroughs or just somebody looking to get around Skyrim a little quicker. I would definitely recommend turning off fall damage when using this mod, or you're going to fucking die a lot. This one should have been in the game, shouldn't even be a mod. Dovahkiin can sit, lean, kneel anywhere and interact with all the shit that the NPCs can interact with. Ever see someone lean against a wall and you were like, man, I wish I could do that? Well, now you can. 360-degree walk and run standalone. Doesn't matter what animation mod you have for movement, this is a must-have, allowing you to turn your camera in a full 360 degrees and your character at the same time. Shouldn't be a mod, should have been in the game in the first place, but I do digress. Multiple adoptions for the Hearthfire DLC. It also allows you to make multiple rooms. This is probably what I was thinking about with that multiple marriages mod. 2 different mods go hand in hand. Definitely a must-have for those using the Hearthfire DLC. Vibrant Weapons Light, overhauling all the enchantment effects to weaponry. Really nice. You're going to see a fire enchantment actually appear on your blade. Your blade will literally ignite in fire. You're going to see lightning crackling off of your blades. It's another must-have. Literally cannot play the game without it. Vampire Knights, adding in knight NPCs for the vampire faction. Little boss fights. Very fun. I tend to recruit them to my faction whenever I can. They're really cool to have around. They drop really cool armor and weapons. Ah, here we go. Another city overhaul mod. This one's from Morthal. It's probably from PC, and I'm sure I've seen a few PC players use this one in particular, but I can't look at Morthal the same without this mod. It overhauls that swamp village into a real town. Just one that I can't play without, and it's only kilobytes. There's no reason not to get it, other than the fucking taxing it's going to put on your normal box. Dear God, I recommend having a better console if you're going to run this mod. Talkative dragons, very self-explanatory. The dragons' dialogue overhauled, their voices overhauled to sound deeper, more guttural and dragon-like. Definitely a must-have. The Run for Your Lives mod overhauls NPCs so farmers don't try and fight a goddamn dragon. Farmers will now seek shelter indoors and run like the little bitches they're supposed to be, instead of trying to take it to a fucking dragon. Ignore the texture glitch on the pictures of these mods. I'm still going to go over the titles and help y'all out. This is Better Dead Thralls. It adds in a spell and a book to the Hall of the Dead in Whiterun, allowing you to completely control your thralls. Not some half-assed resurrect a corpse on the ground, but you will have real control over your thralls like their companions. Really good mod, must have. Character creation overhaul, giving you a more Oblivion-like feel to your character creation, allowing for a class system, and a birth sign. Definitely a must-have if you have my Standing Stone mod. You will feel like you're born under a star instead of having to go and pick a random stone. It just adds in more roleplay ability to your characters, but also the class system is a must-have for any Oblivion fan, or old Elder Scrolls fan in general. Royal Bloodlines. This is a pretty good vampire mod. It adds in another level of epicness to the vampire lord and empowering it for the higher difficulties. If you like the vampire lord power like me, then you want to use it most of the time. This will allow you to do that and not get your ass kicked in the higher levels. True currency overhaul replaces the normal gold with 3 currency types: bronze, silver, and gold. A bronze septum is worth 1 piece, a silver septum is worth 10 pieces, and a gold septum is worth 100. A must-have mod for anyone who's used to fantasy RPGs or anime. It's just something that adds in real roleplay ability, and you know, there's more than just gold in the world. There's copper, there's silver, so this makes a lot of fucking sense. Level 1 Loot Adder. For all of those fun mods that add in crazy-ass weapons or crazy-ass equipment in general, you're gonna need this mod. It's gonna implement it into the leveled lists of all creatures. So bandits could use lightsabers. You will literally fight bandits with goddamn lightsabers. The game will never be the same again. Any of these mods that you see over in the right, they will be added to the leveled lists. All armor lootable and wearable, something that should have been in the game from the get-go. If you've ever seen a Daedric warrior in full Daedric armor and you wanted that armor but he only had a Daedric heart on him, no more. Your whole inventory is laid bare to you. Now you actually get the equipment that you goddamn deserve. The other vile art of necromancy is a patch mod that you're going to need for the one that we previously covered. Runic Mage Armor adds in runes over the Mage Flesh spells. So Stone Flesh, Iron Flesh, Oak Flesh, all different now. You're going to see Nordic runes instead of that shitty light that usually covers your body. Hunter's Cabin of Riverwood, a very nice house mod that goes to Riverwood. You do a little quest going into the nearby bandit camp, find a key, recover the body of the guy who used to live there, and now you have a hunter's cabin, a very free home early on in the game. It's also a very pretty home, not gonna lie. Just another mod I can't play the game without because I really like Riverwood. It's one of my favorite places in the game, even though it's the tutorial town. It's just familiar, it's nice. And I feel like that's probably the exact same opinion of a lot of other people, is that Riverwood is very familiar to us. It's just one of the nicer places to hang out. You know, it's really pretty. Useful map markers. This goes with the map mod that we were talking about earlier. I think this is the one that actually colors your map markers and makes them a bit more visible. And it adds in map markers for like Dragon's Reach and, you know, Jarl Longhouses and general. It just adds in more map markers that should have been there, allowing for easier fast travel. The Demon's Path is a personal mod for me, adding in new powers and spells in the Hall of the Dead in Whiterun. So that's 2 mods in the same spot, really easy to go and get. This will give you a lot of different spells and armors to look through, and 50,000 septums. Free cash. For those of you who don't like to work your ass off, I don't blame you. This game, when you got this many mods, the amount of time it resets, you're just glad to have a little boost. But I don't really care about the money that comes with it. It's the powers, bro. This mod makes you feel like a real fucking demon in Skyrim. And there's even a demon's form mod that you can go and get that turns you into like this gigantic red demon. Makes you feel like a boss fight. Like you are the boss battle. Forget giants, you're gonna slap the fuck out of them with these mods. Enhanced NPC perks. A must-have when you're traveling with companions or just in general for fighting cooler NPCs. You know, making it feel like they're actually different from other boss fights that you've had. The female skeleton, Vera's female skeleton in particular, really good for the female bodies of the game. It's a must-have. It goes hand in hand with the character retexture bundle. Perks from questing, a mod I cannot play the game without. You will get passive powers and effects just from doing quests. Anytime you feel like you didn't get a good reward from a quest, this will change that. Instead, when you get some shitty amount of gold, you're also going to get a perk that's permanently attached to you for the rest of your life. Forever there. That active effect, always active. Really cool passive abilities. This is a necessary mod for playing modded Skyrim. Not only will it give you a fighting chance, but it just makes it feel like you're actually doing something when you take on those side quests. Lunar Fury. This is for all your werewolf needs. Not kidding. And it doesn't break your game. Definitely a must-have. Blood and Alchemy. A vampire overhaul for alchemy. Very fun mod. Very fun. You're going to be able to extract blood and craft blood potions with this. It's just for a vampire who's more or less on the move, can't take the time to actually go and bite someone's neck. It's a fun mod. This allows you to block poison. Very self-explanatory. I got really tired of being one-shot by frostbite venom from spiders. Like, I would take potions and use spells to protect myself, and I'd still get one shot through it. Like, you would watch my health go up and up and up and up. And then, once I was done taking the potions, the venom would still be active, and you'd watch my health go back down, 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 down. Until I died. I would literally have to pop constant potions before I had this mod, and I would still die to the frostbite venom of spiders. That's how hard my Skyrim is. You will drop dead to anything, pretty much. Try not to get hit in the back of the head by arrows either. It's like a 50 caliber. You're just dead. More blood and gore. Really good mod. Really fucking good mod. It's not as crazy as the gore mod on PC where you're going to see someone's skull split in half while they're still alive and their eyeballs just gonna be hanging out. But this will add in more blood and gore like nobody's business. You're going to see skeletons turn black and start fucking spazzing out from lightning spells. Like, this is for spell users as well, not just sword, mace, hammer users, axe users. It's not just for weaponry, it's for magic too. Really fun mod, can't play the game without it. Better gold from quests or even chests. This is for the bounty hunters of the game. It's going to give you a lot more gold when you go to kill bandits, forsworn, giants, and dragons. Mod I literally can't play without. Like wearing multiple rings. Instead of being stuck to just one ring on your finger, you can now wear multiple of named rings, rings that you made, or just jewelry in general. You won't really see it on your hand, but at least you know you're wearing multiple rings that can help you in battle. Battle wards. They're learned via spell tomes, and these are wards you can put on your weapon. Instead of having to constantly use magic to sustain a ward, you can now use a magical block with your weapon. This is for someone who's constantly battling mages and didn't want to use a ward spell. Or doesn't have a iron skin spell. Dynamic camera. This is going to give you the most PC-like experience. Over-the-shoulder combat. It's just a must-have mod for anyone looking to really overhaul their game. It has a learning curve to it, but it's really easy once you get used to it, and by the time you do get used to it, you're going to be a pro at using it, and you're going to know exactly what you want for your camera setup. Queen of the Damned, a deadlier Serana mod, overhauls her spells, abilities, perks, you name it, she's just stronger now. An actual viable companion. Really good with the Serana Dialogue add-on. Better Skies. It goes hand in hand with the Better Clouds mod I had, but this Better Skies mod will completely overhaul the lighting in the sky, and during nighttime as well. You really feel like you're in a completely different world. Here we go. This is something that Jay downloaded too before I ever even told him about it. Big, more kill moves and decapitations. Jay got this mod and didn't even know that it's a super good mod. He just wanted more kill moves and decapitations. This is for anyone looking to use melee weaponry. Or bows. Just weapons in general. Really fun overhaul for the kills. Have you gotten to see it in action yet, Jay? Oh, you have? What do you have to say about the mod? Jay thinks it's pretty decent. I think it's really good. On to the next mod, Dirt Cheap Magic. Instead of losing all of your fucking magic to one goddamn spell like Sparks because you have to hold it, this is going to make it more cost effective and feel real, like you're an actual mage able to cast lightning out of your fingers instead of fucking putting out sparks that just go. That's basically what magic is in the vanilla game. You're a goddamn you're a battery that's always on low and you can barely put anything out until you get enchantments. I hated it. Magic was so asinine half the time. You go to Riverwood and Girder's Mill is behind a stone wall, you said? It's probably the stone wall on the side of like Girder's Mill, but I couldn't tell you. Okay, so spooning, this is for you and your partner in the game. This is another spouse mod. This is also for the player. This is the dominant version, meaning you're going to have your arm wrapped around your partner, not the other way around. Amulet of the Nine Divines. This overhauls all the amulets, making them viable. And honestly, they're going to be better than most necklaces you find throughout the game. You're almost always going to want to have an amulet on you from now on, which also goes hand in hand with the Pilgrim mod, overhauling religion, making it a viable aspect of your playthrough. Bloodskull Blade and Dawnbreaker overhaul, two of my favorite weapon overhauls put into one goddamn mod. I don't really need to say more, it's only 8 kilobytes, you do yourself a misservice if you didn't get it. This is True Vampire Lord, another mod that makes it viable all the way to end game and also allows you to loot bodies and creatures or chests while you're in the Vampire Lord state. Really good must-have mod. Vampire Lords keep armor. It goes with the Vampire Lords don't change appearance. This is another must-have mod, especially if you get the other Vampire Lord armor mod, or just appearance mod in general. Skills will increase your stats. This is another one to make you stronger and just survive the legendary edition of Skyrim in general. My Legendary Edition, I should say, because my Legendary playthrough is very different from other people's. Visible favorited gear. Everyone needs this mod as far as I'm concerned. Everybody. Realistic conversations. People are actually going to stay around and listen and talk to you instead of walking off like they would in Fallout 4, just in Skyrim in general. You'll actually feel invested into the conversations you have with NPCs. Dynamic combat. You're going to need this for the combat mod GDB's Elden Beast. This is going to allow for combo carries. And what combo carry means is whenever you've clicked your right trigger, say 2 to 3 times, I want you to then click X afterwards to continue your combo. Instead of just swinging your sword side to side or over the head, you're now going to have different animations and actual martial arts stances that you would take. Alright, I guess kenjutsu would be the proper word for weaponry. You will also have martial arts stances that you'll take. Hell, you could literally get a mod that turns your character into Sanji, use the unarmed combat with the GDB's Elden Beast, and you would not be able to tell the difference. You'd think you were playing a One Piece game or some shit. The combat's really nice for unarmed when you have GDB's Elden Beast, but it's also really good for all the weapons, because this Elden Beast mod is not the normal one that first came to Skyrim. This one takes all of the For Honor animations and puts it into the game. So if you're a fan of For Honor, the GDB's Elden Beast and this dynamic combat mod are for you. Say you really like the animations of For Honor, but you hate the game because of the player base, or for whatever reason. Well, this mod is for you. You'll have the combat of For Honor in Skyrim, completely overhauling that nasty vanilla combat, and you'll get a real fun, challenging experience out of it. Wondrous Wards overhauls their looks, but not just their looks, it overhauls the amount of cost that they are going to use. So instead of like 50 fucking magicka for holding it for 2 seconds, it's going to be a lot more manageable. Wards will actually be viable in your game. The Wondrous Ward spell, really useful. Rich Merchants of Skyrim, this one's old as hell, self-explanatory. I'm tired of merchants being poor and not being able to afford the stuff I want to sell them. This is the mod for you. Royal Bloodlines, better vampires. It's another patch, you're going to need it. This will require better vampires. So let's see here, the Lord Order would go better vampires above Royal Bloodlines, and then the patch below Royal Bloodlines. And then there's Bloodsucker. This is another vampire overhaul. It's a really good one. You're going to want to have it with better vampires. I literally can't play the game without this. Vampires are a completely new challenge when you have this mod installed. Agonistic combat. It might seem like it's going to break your game, but it's not. It'll work just fine with the other combat mods that we have installed. But when you have this mod installed, you'll never want to uninstall it because the game will just be too easy without it. This is going to make your game so hard, you're going to want to beat your dick against a rock. Smash cock with rock. That's literally what this mod is, but it makes combat so much more challenging and fun. You're going to feel like a fucking combat god if you can compete with this mod. It's going to make all the NPCs stronger, smarter, but it'll also do it for you. You know, not just them, but it's balanced. It also changes their resistance, making them a little tougher to kill. So it goes hand in hand with the Elden Beast mod, in my opinion, because the Elden Beast mod makes the game too easy. You're the only one with those cracked animations. You're the one with all the power, because you can hit them like 24 times in the matter, like span of 10 seconds, they've been hit 24 times, they're dead on the ground. You barely get anything out of the fight. It doesn't feel like a real battle. Now with this, even a common bandit is going to feel like a real fight. They're not just going to feel like an NPC you can one-tap and blow through. It's going to feel like a real battle, almost like you're playing Shadow of War. You know, where nothing is really a one-hit kill and you gotta combo into them and actually have a real battle and manage the enemies around you. You can't just rush in anymore. You might be the Dragonborn, but your enemies are actually your enemies. The Parthenax Dilemma is a mod for all people who love this dragon to death. If you don't want to have to kill Parthenax and you want to go tell the Blades to fuck themselves but also still be their leader, this is the mod for you. You'll actually use that goddamn influence as the Dragonborn and you'll tell Delphine to shut her bitch ass up because she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. Parthenax is probably the best NPC in this fucking game. That's all I'm gonna say. Sekiro Combat S. This is mainly for you. You can get the version that adds it to every NPC. I prefer just having it for me because it's a lot less laggy, a lot less taxing on the system. Whenever you block, sparks are going to fucking fly off of your weapon. Whenever you hit someone else's weapon, sparks are going to fly off. That would be the other version. With this, only your blocks will make sparks appear, and you're gonna want this instead of the other one because whenever you hit someone's weapon or say an army of NPCs goes out to do battle with each other, they're going to have constant sparks flying off of their weapons from blocking, and you can already guess how taxing that could get on the system with just like 20 different NPCs fighting at the same time. So just having it to where only your weapon emits sparks from blocking, you're going to always see the sparks for one, so it doesn't really affect anything bad. It also makes combat satisfying as hell. It'll also add in a small window animation whenever you block, going hand in hand with the Elden Beast mod. It's almost like a parry animation when you block, when the sparks fly off, because then you get an immediate counter attack. Just another mod that you'll definitely need for combat if you want it to feel nice and satisfying. It really enriches the combat when you see those sparks fly off of your blade because you decided to actually block an attack. And when you block that attack, it really feels like you're blocking, and you know, you're not just watching someone hit a goddamn iron stick off of your shield. You know, someone actually clashed metal with metal. Seeing those sparks fly, it's the heat of the battle, the life of the blade. In Berserk, there are so many ways to describe sparks, but when it comes to combat, sparks are the life of the battle. You know, you just can't have a good battle without sparks flying. That's my opinion. And when you have lightsabers in the mix, the sparks flying off of them really do add in another level of depth to the combat. It's almost distracting, honestly. You gotta like stay focused while you're doing it because of how pretty it is. And the final two mods. Proper aiming. This is going to go hand in hand with the dynamic camera mod, allowing for your cursor in the middle of the screen, you know, your little rectangle, to actually aim for you. Because when you have the camera mod that I have, it fucks that up. The alignment to your rectangle in the middle, your icon, it no longer works. So you need a mod to realign your bows and arrows to that spot in the middle of your screen. So now you can have over-the-shoulder combat, whether it's ranged or melee, and your attacks will actually go where they're supposed to now. Spells included. Not just for bows, but spells as well. This is going to make things a lot more accurate, and it makes bows a lot more realistic too. You have to aim slightly higher than normal. You'll definitely enjoy this mod if you prefer realism and third-person combat. Must have. And now my final one, Elven Ears for Breton NPCs. I don't know why the Bretons didn't have elven ears in the fucking first place. They are literally half-elves. You know, they're a crossbreed of Nord and elves. This one is for lore and just roleplay ability in general. Give your Bretons a more anime elf kind of vibe. And I do believe that concludes this load order video. That was my 150 mod load order. I'm so happy you guys decided to stick with me for this. To those of you who did, thank you. I hope you had a wonderful time. And I honestly had a lot of fun doing this video. It's been a while since we've done load order videos. But anyways, I'll stop taking up your guys' time. I'm One Moon Knight, and I'm signing off. Hope you all had a wonderful night, and bye-bye.